Wireless hacking methodology. Now, the objective of this wireless hacking methodology is to compromise a Wi-Fi network in order to gain unauthorized access to network resources. So it is just to compromise the network to get the resources access, unauthorized access, without authentication or authenticating by grabbing or intercepting the credentials of the other users. So we have different type of attacks we have. First, we have to go stepwise. So first we have to discover it. We have to do the discovery. Now for that, we'll do the footprinting the wireless network. Now, attacking a wireless network begins with discovering and footprinting the wireless network in an active or passive way. So we have two ways for doing the footprinting for the wireless network. First is active and the passive. Now, passive footprinting method, in this an attacker can use the passive way to detect the existence of an AP by sniffing the packets from the airways, which will reveal the AP SSID and attacker's wireless device that are live. And in the active footprinting method, in this method, attacker's wireless device sends out a probe request with the SSID to see if an AP responds, and if the wireless device does not have the SSD in the beginning, it will send the probe request within empty SSID. So very simple. Passive means it will just do the sniffing to get the information about the SSID. It will just open the Wi-Fi finder and try to get what are the Wi-Fi networks available around it. Or second, it can do what? It can use the active footprinting method, where it will try to send some request and probing request to the existing APs and try to see whether they are available or what they are available. Then find Wi-Fi network to attack. So first, to find the Wi-Fi network which we want to do the attack, the first task an attacker will go through when searching for Wi-Fi target is checking the potential networks that are in range to find the best one to attack. Drive around with the Wi-Fi enabled laptop installed with a wireless discovery tool and map out active wireless networks. We can do the wire driving. We can use a Wi-Fi enabled laptop installed with the wireless discovery tool, and then we can move around within the whole area to find out the proper Wi-Fi network which we can do the attack. Like you will need this. You will need these to discover Wi-Fi networks. First, laptop with the Wi-Fi card you need. Then we need the external Wi-Fi antenna, and then we need some network discovery programs. We can use these tools like in SSIDR. We can use Net Survivor. We can use Net Tumbler or Wiz Tumbler. There are some tools which can discover the wireless network around us. So we have these tools like to do the discovery. We have in SSIDR, this inspect WLAN and surrounding network to troubleshoot computing access points, track the strength of received signal in DBM, and over time and filter access points in an easy to use format. Then we have Net Survivor also. This Net Survivor is a network discovery tool used to gather information about nearby wireless access point in real time and display it in a useful way, like this you can see in the image. Then we have the other tools like WizTumbler and NetStumbler. This WizTumbler finds wireless access point, uses the Vista command, anti-SH, WLAN, show network mode, VSSID to get the wireless information. It supports for GCPS and live Google Earth tracking also. Then NetTumbler facilitates the detection of wireless LANs and using the 802.11b, A and G WLAN standards, and it commonly used for wire driving, verifying network configuration, finding location with poor coverage in one WLANs, etc. So these are graphical tools which we can use to find the wireless network. Then there are some other tools are also available where we can use these tools to find out the proper wireless network available around us. Now after, when we discover it, and we have some mobile tools also available. We have mobile based Wi-Fi discovery tools like these. We can use it on our mobile to discover around us. It will not only show you the network name SSID, it will also show you the detailed information about the network, about that Wi-Fi network. Then we can go for the GPS mapping also for doing the discovery. Attackers create map of discovered Wi-Fi network and create a database with statistics collected by Wi-Fi discovery tools such as this Net Survivor or Net Stumbler. So attacker can do what? It can create the database of available Wi-Fi networks and the information about those networks which is collected by these tools. Then GPS is used to track the location of the discovered Wi-Fi network, and the coordinates are uploaded to the sites like Wiggle. So there are some sites, it is having these open Wi-Fi or other Wi-Fi around us. It has an information about those, and it has been uploaded by the different users, and attackers can share this information with the hacking community or sell it to make money also. So it can do what? It can use this information to upload it into some of the site like Wiggle, or it can also sell this information also, that these are the information I have gathered from this, and these are the Wi-Fi devices or networks I have found out in these areas. So attacker discover the Wi-Fi network, post the GPS location on the Wiggle type of the site. So this is the site called Wiggle, where we can find this. Wiggle consolidates locations and information of wireless network worldwide to central database and provides user-friendly Java, Windows and web application that can map, query and update the database via the web. And you can add a wireless network to Wiggle from a Stumble file or by hand, and add remarks to an existing network also. So it will show you the whole network here, like it will show you the design of the and location of the and the information about the networks available around us. Then we have one more, that is Skyhook. This Skyhooks is a Wi-Fi positioning system, that is WPS, determines location based on Skyhook's massive worldwide database of known Wi-Fi access points. So it is also a same database of available access points around the world. Then we have Wi-Fi Finder also. This is a GWire. GWire is a Wi-Fi hotspot location directory with more than these numbers free and paid Wi-Fi hotspot in 145 countries. We can check that on the site GWire. We can go for the mobile also. We can go for the mobile device, mobile software of GWire, or we can go for the site also. Then we have Wi-Fi also. This is also a site, or it is available a software which we can use to find out the. So they have all the database available, or they have a database of all the available wireless networks around the world with the map location, GPS locations. Now this is what Wiggle. It is wanted to know my location, so allow it, and we can see the map here. And it is showing me here in Mumbai, and you can see there are lots of wireless hotspots are there. It is saying these are stumblers, Wi-Fi networks, Wi-Fi observers, Wi-Fi today, then BT devices, Bluetooth devices, cell towers. So it is showing all these informations here. We can upload also, we can check the informations status, and there are some tools also we can use. I will try to check possible free net. So you can see there are some free net available here. Then we can go for possible commercial net, no labels, only discovered by me, only discovered by others. We can see this. This is the density. I'll go with the quality of service. So these are the filters we have, which we can use to filter the output which we see. And there are some other sites also we have. Now, how to discover Wi-Fi network using the WAR driving? So what is the steps to get this? So first, step 1, register the Wiggle and download map packs of your area to view the plotted access point on a geographical map. Like you can register to the Wiggle site, and then it will give you, you can download the map of your area, and then in that area you can see the access point available, plotted available. Then what? Next is to connect the antenna GPS device to the laptop via USB, serial adapter and board on a car. Then what? Use your laptop, connect your wireless devices, antenna and all through the wireless, through the USB, and then just board on a car to drive. And then what? Install and launch NetStumbler and Wiggle client software and turn on the GPS device. Now what? Drive the car at the speed of 35 miles per hour or below. At higher speeds, Wi-Fi antenna will not be able to detect Wi-Fi spot. So drive slowly, and then just slowly, slower than like 35 miles per hour or below, and then try to detect. Now capture and save the NetStumbler log files which contains GPS coordinates of the access point. So as your antenna is detecting it, your software of this software will be stored. It will do the logging. It will contain the log, and it will start creating the log about the GPS location of the access point. Then upload this log file to Wiggle, which will then automatically plot the point onto a map. So this is how these normally users do detect this and upload onto these sites. Now whether it is not, if it is wanted to upload it, or if it is don't want to upload it, like attacker can find out the free Wi-Fi network which is open, and then what, it can sell it to other people also. Like it is saying, I have an option, I have a map of this area, and this areas all the free or open Wi-Fi networks. So anybody can buy this, like this is free or open, or it is vulnerable. So it can be, attacker can also sell this information. Then wireless traffic analysis. Identify vulnerabilities. Traffic analysis is to do the identify the vulnerabilities. Wireless traffic analysis enabled attacker to identify the vulnerabilities and susceptible victims in a target wireless network. This helps in determining the appropriate strategy for a successful attack. Wi-Fi protocols are unique at layer 2, and traffic over the air is not serialized, which makes easy to sniff and analyze wireless packets. So analyzing the traffic is to detect the vulnerability, and also the user or the device which is vulnerable for it. And what, sniffing is easy here because it acts like a hub. As we know that it works like a hub, and it only work on layer 2. So we can say that this is what we can easily sniff it, and we can do the Wi-Fi reconnaissance. Now Wi-Fi reconnaissance, attacker analyze the wireless network to determine what broadcast SSID, presence of multiple access point, possibility of recovering SSIDs, authentication method used, and WLAN encryption algorithm. So it will try to detect all these informations. Now tools, Wi-Fi packet captures and analysis products come in a number of forms like Wireshark, Pilot tool, OmniPeak tool, ComView tool, and Air Magnet Wi-Fi analyzer. So these are the different tools which we can use to do what, this analyzing of the available wireless networks. Now, wireless card and chipset. Choosing the right Wi-Fi card is very important since tools like AirCrack NG, Kismac only works with selected wireless chipsets. So these are the very famous tools to work with the Wi-Fi network, AirCrack, NG or Kismac. Now these kind of tools works with a specific Wi-Fi card. So we have to select the card appropriately. So we have to determine your Wi-Fi requirement first. And if you decide if you simply want to listen to wireless network traffic or to both listen to and inject packet PCMCIA or USB. So this is what your requirement. Now learn the capabilities of a wireless card. Who is the card manufacturer, version, revision, model, etc. Identify the chipset used in the card. Then determine the chipset of the card, chipset of the Wi-Fi card, and verify the chipset capabilities. For determining this, you can visit to this site, visit to this madwifiproject.org wiki compatibility site for compatibility, that what chipset is compatible with this, with which tool. Then verify your chipset capability by determining what features the chipset provides for the particular operating system that you will be using, and then determine the drivers and patch required. Determine the drivers required for your chipset and your operating system. Now we have wireless Wi-Fi USB dongle. So nowadays in our laptops or in our laptops by default we have this wireless adapter available inbuilt into our system, but previously it was not there. So if it is not there, then we can use the USB dongle for the wireless network. There is available in the market. We have available with the wireless dongle. USB dongles are available, which we can use to add the wireless features in our device or in our laptop. Now in this we have Air PCAP. This Air PCAP adapter captures full 802.11 data management and control frames that can be viewed in Wireshark for in-depth protocol dissection and analysis. Air PCAP software can be configured to decrypt WEP or WPA encrypted frames also. Features of this Air PCAP: it provides capability for simultaneous multi-channel capture and traffic aggregation. It can be used to traffic injection that help in assessing the security of a wireless network. This Air PCAP is supported in AirCrack NG, Kn-Enable and Wireshark tools. This Air PCAP replay included in the Air PCAP software distribution. Replays of 802.11 network traffic that is contained in a trace files. So Air PCAP, this is a software which comes with an adapter. Now if your adapter is supported with this, so when you install your adapter driver, it will come with this Air PCAP, and it can do use for these all things. Then Wi-Fi packet sniffer. So Wireshark is also it's a sniffer. We can use it to sniff the wired network. We can also use it to sniff the wireless network also. And for wireless network, it will use the Air PCAP. Normally for the wired network, it uses WinPCAP, and for the wireless network, it will use the Air PCAP for sniffing. So Wireshark with Air PCAP, we can detect all the wireless network available, wireless traffic available in the network. Then we have Steel Center Packet Analyzer. This is a graphical tool we can use. It measures wireless channel utilization. It helps in identifying raw wireless network and stations. It isolates specific packets. It provides an interactive and visually oriented user interface also. Fully graphical also. Then we have OmniPack Network Analyzer. This network analyzer offers real-time visibility and analysis of the network traffic from a single interface, including Ethernet, 802.11, ABG, N-Wireless and VoIP. It provides a comprehensive view of all wireless network activities, showing each wireless network the AP compromising the network and the users connected to each AP. So it shows everything. It's a graphical tool. Then we have CommView for Wi-Fi. CommView for Wi-Fi designed for capturing and analyzing network packets on wireless network 802.11 ABGN networks. It features the features of this CommView is it gathers information from the wireless adapter and decodes the analyzed data. It can decrypt packets utilizing user-defined WEP or WPA PSK keys and decode them to the lowest layer with full analysis of the most widespread protocol. Now, spectrum analysis. What is spectrum analysis? Radio frequency, because these wireless networks, these are all radio frequencies. So this RF spectrum, radio frequency spectrum analysis examines Wi-Fi radio transmission and measures the power, amplitude of radio signals and radio frequency pulses and transform these measurement into numeric sequence. Spectrum analysis employs statistical analysis to plot spectral uses, quantify air quality and isolate transmission sources. These RF spectrum analyzers are used by RF technicians to install and maintain wireless networks and identify sources of interference. Now, Wi-Fi spectrum analysis. This Wi-Fi spectrum analysis also helps in wireless attack detection, including denial of service attack, authentication encryption attack, network penetration attack, etc. So spectrum analysis tools are like Wi-Fi, Wi-Spy and Channelizer, Air Magnet, Wi-Fi Analyzer, Wi-Fi Eagle. These are the tools we use to do this analysis. Now for doing the Wi-Fi sniffing, we have Wi-Fi packet sniffer. These are the packet sniffer we have, like PRTG network monitor, Captcha network monitor. We have sniffer protocol, portable professional analyzer, Air View observer, Wi-Fi scanner, AirTruff. So these are the tools we have to analyze the network and discover the network. Now what we have is AirCrack NG suite. Now this one is the most famous and useful one. That means this is actually works. So this AirCrack NG is a network software suite. This consisting of a detector, packet sniffer, WEP and WPA2 PSK cracker and analysis tool for 802.11 wireless networks. This program runs under Linux and Windows both. So this tool has everything, like you want to do the analysis, you want to do the sniffing, you want to do the cracking, it can do everything. It has all the available tools for it. It has airbase, aircrack, aircap, air clog, air driver, air drop, air replay. So it has all these tools, airmon, air dump, arrow dump. So it has all these tools, air replay that will do the replay attack. So all these tools are used to do the different kind of attacks. As you see, what, like for example, arrow dump is to use to capture the packets of raw 802.11 frames and collect WEP IVs. Airmon is for use to enable monitor mode on wireless interfaces from manage mode and vice versa. So by default our interface will not be on the monitor mode. So this tool convert that our wireless interface to monitor mode, so that it can monitor everything, it can analyze, it can sniff anything. Air replay, this one is to do the replay attack. This is used for traffic generation, fake authentication, packet replay and ARP request injection attack. Then we have AirCrack, this de facto WEP and WPA PA2 PSK cracking tool. This is to crack. So just like this, we have these all tools which do the different things, and consist of all these tools. It is called AirCrack NG suite. Now first, how to reveal the hidden SSID. Now hidden SSID, that means it will not be show, like if someone has closed the SSID, if someone has said that SSID should not be broadcast with the wireless network, then this option, this aircrack NG, can use to do the detection for it. Now first I'll show you that option which used to hide the SSID. So this is a wireless router. Now if you go to wireless setting here, so under the wireless setting we have this option available here: enable wireless router radio and enable SSID broadcast. Now if I want my router, my network must be hidden, then what I will do, I will remove this stick, and this will do what? It will not broadcast the SSID of my network, and this will not be shown to anyone. That will be called hidden, or we can say the closed SSID. Now if someone has done this, then again still it is not that secure. It is not that secure. That means still attacker can get it. It can get it by using that AirCrack tool, and it can use this tool to do this. First it will run this command airmon-ng to start the interface, and then interface name. This will run this command to enable the monitor mode in our Ethernet, in our wireless interface. Then after setting up the monitor mode, it will create an interface like a mon0. Name of the interface will be mon0. It is a temporary interface it will create. Then what? It will run the aerodump command with this option to capture the interface IVs, and then it can see this here, hidden SSID. The hidden SSID will look like this. The SSIDs which is not hidden, it will show like the name of those SSID, but those which is hidden, it will show like this. It will show the length of the character of the SSID, but the SSID will not show. But attacker can still see what is the SSID. Now what attacker will do here? Attacker will do what? In the third step, it will run the air replay attack. Replay attack, that means it will replay the packet. It will do the replay attack, and it will send the deauthentication packet. Now deauthentication packet with the number of packet will be 11. That means it is going to send the number of 11 packets, and with the MAC address of the AP. This is the MAC address of the AP. That is the AP which is hidden. You can see it is what? The BSSID. BSSIDs are the MAC address of that access point. So SSID is not showing, so it will use the BSSID of that AP and send the deauthentication packet, and it is sending 11 packets. Now that means what? It will send the packet to everyone, and whoever connected to that network will be disconnected, and all the machines, all the devices which is connected to that AP will be disconnected. Those devices feels that it is this so those devices feels that this deauthentication request is coming from the AP, their own AP, because it is using the MAC address, because that MAC address is of that AP. Now next, when these machines, those connected to that AP, they will be disconnected, then what? In the step 4, switch to AirDump to see the revised revealed SSID, and then what? When they do the authentication, you can see the SSID, that secret SSID. So very simple, attacker can see the SSID even if we close the SSID, even the user disable the SSID broadcast, it can still see the SSID by using this method. It will do what? It will first run the AirDump to check the information, sniff the information, sniff the packet, and then it will use the deauthentication attack to get the SSID again. So for work with the AirCrack NG, we have this available in Kali Linux. In Kali Linux, we have already installed it. It is already installed, and it is already installed with this with the all tools. So you just need to have a wireless adapter in your Kali Linux, and it is there. So what you need, first you check that whether you are having a wireless adapter or not, and for that you will run iwconfig command. It will show only the adapter name which is having a wireless, and it is what? This WLAN 0. It is IEEE 802.11, and it is not any ESSID. It is not connected to anywhere, So it is like this mode is this, manage access point is this and that. So it is not connected to any devices, any access point. Even if it is connected, so first you have to do what? You have to disconnect it from there. So if it is connected, then you will go here and you will disconnect it from there. It is not connected, it is not showing any connected. Then next what we do, we enable the monitor mode on this wireless interface. And for enabling the monitor mode, we will run airmon ng command. Airmon ng command, and the name of that start and the name of the WLAN adapter. And it will enable the monitor mode on this interface. And it enables the monitor mode on this interface, and you can see that this is now enabled. And this monitor mode Wi-Fi interface enabled for this WLAN on this WLAN 0 mon, and it creates a new name for it, and that is what? WLAN 0 mon. This is the new name for this interface which is on the monitor mode. So if we want to do anything else, then we will do it on this interface name. So now next what I will do, I want to sniff all the available packet around me. So I will run arrow dump ng. I can run with --iv command, and all the information which it is going to capture, I wanted to capture and I want to write it on some file. So let's say I will say capture file, and then I will mention the name of that interface, that is WLAN 0 mon. It was which name? This WLAN 0 mon. So I will mention the name WLAN 0 mon and I will press enter. Now it is going to sniff all the available networks around us. And you can see the BSSID of those network APs. You can see the name SSID of those network. Now there is no hidden SSID I have, but if any I have, then I can see those. I can see those here. Right now there is no any hidden here. And then you can see the host MAC address also, which is connected to that particular SSID, that particular AP. So in this side you can see this is the MAC address of the BSSID, this is the BSSID of the AP, and this is the host AP host MAC address which is connected to that particular access point. I will stop it first, Control C. So this is the name of the this is the SSID of the AP. What authentication method it is using, PSK pre-shared key with WPA2, then what channel it is working, and also what is the BSSID of those access point. And then you can see in this side, you can see the host which is connected to that AP. So this is the BSSID, and you can see where is this BSSID. So this is the BSSID, and this is the host MAC address who is connected to that AP. Now these information is required to do those different attacks. Now if suppose there is no, it is not showing the SSID, then what attacker will do after this, after gathering this, it will not quit it, it will take it, it will make it continue, it will continue run like this, and it will do what? It will do send the deauthentication packet. Like for example, I will send it to this SSID, it will use this MAC address of that SSID, Control C, no, I will copy this, and then what? It will run this as it is, and then it will keep running, and then it will go to next terminal. and then here it will run the authentication attack by using the array play attack. Deauth and 11 packet, that means it is going to send the 11 packets with the MAC address of that AP. So by using the MAC address of that AP, it will send the 11 the authentication request, and that request will go to all the connected devices to that AP, and those devices will accept the request and disconnect. Why they will accept? Because the request is coming from this MAC address, the MAC address of that AP. So they feel that this request is coming from our own AP, and it is saying that to disconnect, and it will disconnect. Now after disconnecting, those devices automatically try to connect, and because they know the password and everything, they will connect automatically. Now when they connect, they reconnect, they reveal the information about the SSID, and here is already mapping, it is already checking it, so it can detect that SSID. I will show you this. I will send this. Okay, I think I made a mistake here. Okay, sorry, it is not, it is saying no interface specified. We have to mention the interface name also, from where we want to send this request. So I am send it from here. Now it has been sended. Now here those devices which is connected to this, it will disconnect and then they will reconnect it, and here we can see the SSID, but it is already showing, so it is not showing that because it is already showing it. So if it was not showing, then now it is going to show you that. It is going to show you that this is the SSID we have. Then we have fragmentation attack. The fragmentation attack, when successful and can obtain 500 bytes of PRG, that is pseudo random generation algorithm. This attack does not recover the WEP key itself, but barely obtain the PRG-A. The PRG-A can then be used to generate packets with packet forge NG, which are in turn used for various injection attack, and it requires at least one data packet to be received from the access point in order to initiate the attack. So first it is used to capture the packet first, and then what it will do, used to craft the different type of packets. It used this RPGA with the packet forge NG. It is to generate the packets to be used for various injection attacks. It is used to do the different injection attack. It can craft the packet and send. For doing that, what it will do, it will use air replay ng command, and with air replay it is using the number 5. Now every attack with this air replay has a unique number and name also, and then it is giving the BSS ID of the AP and the host ID, host MAC address, the host which is connected to that BSS ID. Now where we will get this information, where we run the arrow dump command. So where we run the arrow dump command, we know the ESS ID, we know the BSS ID of the AP, we know the host which is connected to that SSID, so we know that also. So host MAC address, BSS ID of the AP, and also we'll do this type of attack. And then when you send this, it will do what? It will send this type 5 attack. It will send this junk value. Now what? After that, you will see saving chosen packet in replay. So it will after this it will do what? It will save the packet to this in the system to be used in the future. So air replay NG has a different type of attack. If you can go for the help, if you take the help of this air replay attack, so you can see it is having this all different attacks with different numbers. We did this deauth attack, we did send the deauth pack. We can use -0 also. If instead of typing deauth, we can type only -0. Now that command was adding this 5. Now this is what it is, a fragment attack. It is generating the valid key stream. It is to generate the valid key stream. and for mentioning the BSSID, SSID or host, this A option can be used, and also it can be used the B option for BSSID of the access point. This is under the replay attack and this is under the filter attack. Then we have MAC spoofing attack. Now how to launch and what is MAC spoofing attack? MAC spoofing attack, in this attacker changes the MAC address to that of an authenticated user to bypass the MAC filtering configured in an access point. Very simple. If someone configured it into the access point that these MAC addresses are only allowed to access, these MAC addresses are only allowed to access, so nobody else can connect it. Now attacker can do what? It can change the MAC address of those allowed MAC addresses. Now how the attacker knows that which MAC addresses are allowed? Very simple. We have already seen it when we run the arrow-dump command. We have already seen it that when we run the arrow-dump command, we know that this is the MAC address, this is the BSSID of the AP, and these devices are connected, already connected. They are doing the communication, and they are doing the communication because they are added into the filter list. So we can easily know that these MAC addresses are allowed. So attacker knows that which MAC addresses are allowed and which MAC addresses are allowed to connect. So attacker can do what? Attacker can change its own MAC address and it can spoof these MAC addresses, that it can change its own MAC address to this allowed MAC addresses, and then what? It can connect, and that is called MAC address spoofing. So how it can do that? In Linux, it will do that by using this command. First, it will shut down, it will disable the interface, wline disable, down, it will disable. Then it will change the if config wline hardware ethernet address, it will change the other address, it will mention the other address, and then it will start the interface again, up, wline up. And in Windows machine, we have a tool called SMAC. It's a graphical tool where you can just change your MAC address of the interface. It also uses randomly generated MAC address, but randomly generated means what? It can be any, but we want to have a MAC address, or we are going to have a specific MAC address so that we can bypass the filtering. So we use the specific MAC address, so we can change the specific MAC address here, and we can generate the random also. In command line Linux, we can do change by directly simply running these commands. First command is to disable the interface, second command is to change the MAC address, and then third command is to again start the interface. Then denial of service attack. Denial of service means attacker can do deauthentication and disassociation attacks. Now deauthentication attack, which we have already done right now, we have just sent it the deauthentication packet. In this, attacker can do what? It can deauthenticate the users. So what it do here? In disassociation and deauthentication, first in disassociation, what it will do? The access point, there is an access point and attacker, the users are connected to that. So victim client is authenticated and associated with AP, it is connected now. Then attacker will do what? Attacker sends a disassociation request packet to take a single client offline. So it will send a request of disassociation, and it will send the request to everyone. Within the range of the attacker, it will go to everyone, but it will accept it by this client. It can send a request as a targeted MAC address. It can send by the client MAC address also. So it will send a request like adding the MAC address, or we can say BSSID of the AP, and then it can send the client MAC address also with it. So this client feels like this AP is saying it to disassociate, and then it will disassociate itself with the AP. Client connects to the network, client is still authenticated but no longer associated with the AP. So it is still authenticated, but it is not associated, it is not connected. Deauthentication attack means the attacker or the client will connect it first to the AP. It is connected now, Then attacker will do what? Attacker sends a deauthentication request packet to take a single client off, or it can send it to deauthenticate all the clients. Now you can see the command is same air replay ng, and it is adding this deauth command, and it is going to send 25 packets, 25 packets of deauth, and it is using the host MAC address also by using -h to add the host MAC address, then -b to add this AP MAC address, and then the interface name where it wants to send the deauthentication packet. So this we have already done. What it will do? It will deauthenticate all the client which is connected to this MAC address. So this will be disconnected. Let's see that. So attacker first do what? It will run this arrow-dump command to check that which hosts are connected to which device, which AP, and if suppose it knows that this AP is connected to this device and I want to disconnect this device from that AP, then it will send the deauth back. Now we see here that we can say that this is the AP, this is the access point, and the MAC address of that access point is this, and we can choose the host MAC address also from here, and then what? We can send it. Now I will see that who is connected to that. So I am seeing this MAC address is connected. This one is connected to that AP. So here I have already added the MAC address of the AP. Now I will add the MAC address of host also, which I want to disconnect. So this is the command add replay deauth. It is going to send 11 packets to deauthenticate, and we can increase the packet. We can increase it to 25, and this will be the host MAC address, and this will be the MAC address of the AP, and we are going to send it from this interface. I will start this again. So when it is disconnected, we will see. Now we can see that these informations, like this is the AP, and here it will show that someone, if this one was connected, it is going to show that one which is connected to that AP. The one which is this one. Okay, it is, I think it is out of range. So this is the one which is connected to that AP. We can see here now it is connected. Now what I will do, I will send this deauth packets. Oh, sorry. Okay, it was A here for BSS ID. And what we saw here, waiting for the beacon frame, this here is on channel 9, but the AP uses channel 3, whatever, and it has sended this. And what happened, it disconnected and it connects back very quickly, and we can see here it actually connects back very quickly. So that was the deauthentication attack. Now next is man in the middle attack. Now man in the middle attack, that means attacker wants to be in the middle. Now be in the middle, it is basically don't required in wireless network, because whatever the data sent from the client to the AP and the AP to the client, the attacker can receive it. Attacker can see everything. But attacker wants to do what? Attacker wants to do the man in the middle here in the wireless network, so that it does not have to de-encrypt these things, does not have to decrypt this thing, because it is encrypted by these authentication thing like WPA or WPA2 or even a WEP. So what attacker will do here? First, attacker sniff the victim's wireless parameters, the MAC address, ESSID, BSSID, number of channel. It will get it by running the arrow_dump command. It will get the MAC address, ESSID, BSSID, number of channel. Then send the deauth request to the victim with the spoofed source address of the victim's AP. So it will send the deauth packet to the victim, and the victim will be deauthenticated. Then what? The victim is deauthenticated and start to search all channels for a new valid AP. Then it will automatically start searching the new AP channel for the new AP. Now attacker will do what? Attacker sets a forged AP on a new channel with the original MAC address, that is BSSID of the original MAC address, and ESSID, the name of that victim's AP. That means the AP, the real AP name, and the MAC address it will use to create a forged access point here in the attacker's machine. Now the victim will do what? It will connect to the forged AP. Victim will connect to the forged AP of the attacker. Now after the victim successful association to that forged AP, the attacker spoof the victim to connect to the original AP. Now attacker will do what? It will send a request for this AP to connect, and using this information about this victim. Now remember, when the victim connects to this forged AP, it will send the information about it, and the information it will use to send the request to the real AP. Now attacker sits in between the access point and the victim and listen all the traffic here. This is what man in the middle attack. So in the aircrack NG, for doing the man in the middle attack, attacker will do this thing. It will do what? First, it will sniff it. It will do air_dump_ng to sniff all the information about the different APs and the clients. Then what? Second, it will send the deauth packet with the help of that MAC address of the AP, and it will deauth the other clients or even all the clients, because it is not targeting a client, so it will deauth all the clients. Then last, it will do what? It will associate your wireless card, that fake association, with the AP you are accessing with AirPlay NG. So it will send this attack to send secret SSID. This the E is for SSID and the BSSID and the host and the name. So it will do what? It will associate your wireless card. Attacker will associate its wireless card with the fake. This is what the fake association with the AP you are accessing with the AirPlay NG. So the victim's AP it will associate with its own machine. Before that, attacker will create the forged AP in its own machine and connect the victim to its own forged AP. And then after connecting it, then attacker will connect the AP access, the real AP with its own information using the MAC address of the original victim. So it will use the MAC address of the original victim to associate itself to the original AP, and then it will sit between that AP and the victim. Or just like in a wired network, in wireless network also attacker can do the ARP poisoning attack. ARP poisoning attack we did in the wired network. Wired network, to do the man in the middle. To do the man in the middle, it do that ARP poisoning attack. Here under the wireless also it can do this ARP poisoning attack. So first attacker will do what? Attacker will spoof the MAC address of the user wireless laptop and attempt to authenticate to AP. Then AP1 sends update MAC addresses info to the network routers and switches, which in turn update their routing and switching table. So basically the ARP attack works on the switches. So it will try to connect it with the AP, and then it will send this information will be sent to this routers and switches, Now traffic now destined from the network backbone to Jessica's system, the user system, is no longer sent to AP2. So this is what the AP2 which is connected with this user Jessica. So here it will send the information that I am Jessica, and these routers and switches around here that feels like this MAC address is available here. Now if someone if this access point wants to send the data to there, now because the routers and switches in between knows the new place of the MAC address, they will no longer sending the to the real user. It will send it to the attacker machine. It is just like in wired network we can do it on wireless network also. Then raw access point attack. This raw access point, that means the attacker creates the fake raw access points. It can create the compact package size raw access point device plugged into the Ethernet port of corporate network. That means attacker do what? It will use a compact wireless the access point, and it will plug it into the corporate network, and it create its own access point there. Now the users of the corporate network they feel like this is a new access point available here in the organization, and they try to connect it from there. And then attacker will do what? Sniff all the data which is going through those access point. Then raw access point devices connect to the corporate network over the Wi-Fi link also. It can also connect to the Wi-Fi link also, or it can use a USB based raw access point devices plugged into a corporate machine. So there is a USB dongle also available which we can use to the attacker can use to create the raw access point. Then software based raw access point also running on a corporate Windows machine. So it can use a raw access point on a Windows machine operating system also. It is software based raw access point, and it can do it by sending the Trojan horses into the corporate environment and the machines of those network, those environment or and the organization infected with the Trojan, and make this hidden access point. Altogether, it is what creating the raw access point. Choose an appropriate location to plug in your raw access point that allows maximum coverage from your connection point. Then disable the SSID broadcast, that will be the silent mode, and any management feature to avoid the detection. So attacker will disable the broadcasting of SSID so that nobody will detect it, and then places the access point behind a firewall if possible to avoid the network scanners also. Deploy a raw access point for short period so that if any detector is there, so they will not understand, like sometime it is running and sometime it is not running. So if someone is scanning it, someone checks it, so they will not understand that, they will not know that someone is running a fake and raw access point. And so we have these methods of wireless hacking methodology. First discover, then do these kind of attacks, create raw access point and do other attacks.